What is going on, everybody? Today we are installing and reviewing this third brake light, or center high mount brake light, however you want to call it, sent to me for review by JoyTutus. This is an LED combo for cargo lamps and the third brake light. As you see, it came with this protective film. I just peeled it off so you can see it a little bit better. It comes with a new gasket, which is nice. Direct plug-and-play wiring, and it looks like they also have a resistor wired in for the cargo lamps. Sometimes not all body controllers completely cut power, and since LEDs draw less voltage, even if you only have a very, very small amount of voltage going to them, these can stay on kind of dim when the vehicle is parked. So the resistor helps so that these lights don't stay on when the vehicle is not being used. So this has impact resistant ABS plastic that's also UV resistant. And as I said previously, this is direct plug and play 12 volt, supposed to be rated for 30,000 to 50,000 hours of life. And this is going to brighten up and change the look of your vehicle. This specific one, which I will link down in the video description where you can get it, is going to be for the 99 to 2007 classic body styled Chevrolet Silverados and GMC Sierra 1500, 3500, 2500, 1500 HDs. Any of those in there with that year range, this will fit. They also have the 07 newer body style on up to 2013, I believe, which I will also link down in the video description if you have a little bit newer truck and you want to buy one for those. Now, normally I'd be doing this outside with a little bit better lighting, but it's negative temperatures out today, very cold, so please bear with me. What we're going to do is you're just going to remove the two Phillips head screws on your old high mount brake light. There's one here, and then there will be one on the other side. Just turn those Phillips head screws counterclockwise and remove them. Be sure not to lose these, as we are going to be reusing them. And now, depending on the age and condition of your truck, you should be able to just pull this off. As you see, this one is a 2001, so it's kind of caked on there. I'm going to try and get something underneath it to just gently pry it. Don't want to damage the paint or anything. Now, of course, thanks to my great luck, it appears somebody has siliconed or glued this on at one point, so this is much more difficult than it normally would be. If you're in the same boat as me and you have to pry this off for whatever reason, try to use like a plastic pry bar, or do what I'm doing here, where I tucked a paper towel in between the painted part of the cab and the light, and that's going to protect this screwdriver here that I'm using to pry. It's going to protect my paint from that. So give me a few moments here, and I believe I can get it off now. Oh yeah. Yeah, someone's been in here before. So we're going to carefully lift up on this little finger here and unplug the connector to the factory brake light that we're replacing. Set that aside. And now is where prep is key. As you see, I got quite a bit of a mess here. I got to pull all these old pieces off. We got to get this as clean as possible so our new gasket has the best chance of sealing and keeping water out. You obviously don't want a water-stained headliner or anything like that. Don't use any sort of metal scraper because you'll take paint off and scratch it. I would recommend using some sort of a Goo Gone or a Windex and a plastic razor blade, something plastic, or just by hand with a rag or something, and just get it the best you can. But you do have to get a lot of this old stuff off, otherwise it's not going to work properly. All right, so this is as clean as I can get this one for now, just with the tools that I have. So we're just going to put it together, and I'm going to check on it occasionally and make sure there's not any water intrusion. What you're going to do is make sure that these little nut clips are over the holes. As you can see, this one is a little looser. It has the potential to slide down. You need to make sure they're lined up like that. Now, you can see right here, this kind of yellowish stuff you can see, that's the foam headliner. And so the little resistor or capacitor for the cargo lamps here can get quite hot, and we don't want that to touch the cloth or foam headliner. So what we're going to do is kind of zip tie it and prevent that from happening. If it sits inside there in the metal, it's fine. I just want to be extra cautious and make sure it doesn't touch any of the cloth. So I've added a couple zip ties around the resistor here just to kind of space it out from being pushed up against anything directly for prolonged periods of time if the lights are going to be on for a long time. Now what I'm going to do is kind of zip tie this harness up together and tighten it up a bit. That way you're not hearing all these wires and connectors rattle around when we plug it into the truck. All right, there we go. Got it kind of just zip tied up into a little bit of a tighter group there. Again, to keep noise down from rattling in the roof after installation, and also just to help us with installing it. You'll have less wires and connectors to deal with. I did leave a little bit of slack right here for the main connector just to be safe. And then you can actually see I zip tied this up so that the wires are kind of holding up that resistor to keep it away from everything and cooled as well as possible. So now we're going to take this new gasket that was supplied with the light, and you're just going to poke these holes here for the screws. They're pre-punched. You just got to push them the rest of the way out. And then what we're going to do is peel this white backing off. Make sure you get all of the paper off. As you can see here, had a little section that didn't want to cooperate. Now you'll see there's like some part numbers and stuff printed on the back of the light here. You want it so that you can read it correctly, like the letters and numbers are right side up. And then you're going to take your gasket here, which has the little notch on the bottom, the sticky part towards the light. I'm going to put the harness through it. And you're just going to line up the screw holes with the gasket. Just gently place it for now. Don't push down hard yet. Just get them lined up like so. And once those are lined up, then you can go around and make sure that the rest is nice and even and push that on as well. Now we will take the connector of our new light and match it up, the tab on that with the little finger on the factory connector. Push it on until it clicks on like that. And then we're going to take and install the light so that the little notched part of the gasket faces downward. As you can see here, it's much easier to get the wires in now that I have everything zip tied up. And we're going to reinstall our 2 screws. Now, of course, you want the screws tight, but you don't want to strip them out. They just thread into those little clips, which don't have a lot of thread surface. So I recommend doing this by hand if you don't have a lot of experience with like power tools. Just going to snug them up. All right, and now with the screws snugged up, you want to go along the bottom of the light and just make sure it looks like it's got a good seal. Same with the sides. And then along the top. Now, on the side here, you'll see a little bit of black. That's just the back part of the light that's glued together. What's important is that the gasket is pinch tight between the black and the body of the truck, which it is, and then across the top. Now, it's not the greatest seal on the top, but remember this truck had it siliconed before. So this truck, it's 20 years old, over 250,000 miles. Who knows what's happened up here or why it was sealed before. I'm guessing that this is a problem more with the cab of the truck. So I may need to add just a little clear strip of silicone here if we're having problems with water, but I think it will seal up there. It looks okay. So now we're done with the install and we can test it out. All right, guys, here it is after. Of course, they're pretty bright, so the camera's having a hard time picking it up here, but I will show a couple before and after pictures of the old brake light versus the new one, the old cargo lamps versus the new ones, and then everything turned on like this, the old one versus the new one. Once again, guys, I will post a couple different third brake lights here down in the video description if you wish to purchase them. If this video was helpful, make sure you hit that like button, comment, and subscribe for more. Make sure you check me out on socials. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, have a great day.